Talk a little bit about the technical reviews. Is this something that you support, that you advocate, that you oppose? Where are you on the technical reviews?
You know, the technical reviews started three to 4 years ago after there was a new council elected, and you had a few council members, 2 or 3 council members who felt like they didn't get their agendas early enough for them to really read through them and understand them. And let's be honest, we deal in government. We have the problem where we deal in a lot of acronyms and shortened names and so when you're talking about things like the RDA, to a layperson, to your average person, they don't know what RDA means. They may not even know what BLM is, or you know, the RTC or LVCVA. And so as a new council person comes on and they're dealing or having to deal with all of this new information, and they don't know what the multi-species habitat conservation plan for Clark County is. And in a lot of cases, they were finding, these particular council members were finding that having those very technical questions of, well, what is the multi-species conservation habitat and conservation plan? What does that mean for Mesquite? Well, just simply asking that question and having somebody on staff explain, well, it's basically the tortoise fee. It's the $550 fee that in Clark County, if you pay that developer fee, you can do a take permit, and you essentially don't have to go through a full environmental impact statement every time you want to develop. And so understanding those kinds of issues, understanding those very technical things, and getting explanation as to what those relationships were with the city and why we would need to participate or not participate, they found that they wanted the ability to ask questions in a more formal setting. Prior to that, in my prior 8 years on the city council, when I had those questions, I just simply went in City Hall with my packet and went to the city manager and said, what is this? Or if it was a sanitation related question, went to Billy Tander and said, hey, what is this? Billy would give me a 5-minute explanation and I'd understand what it was. Or I'd go to the building department or the city clerk or whoever. And that's how I handled it. This particular group thought that they wanted to have some more formal meetings where there were 1 or 2 council people in every meeting asking department heads and getting those answers back. And generally they're meetings that last 15 to 20 minutes long each, and then the next group comes in and asks questions, the same types of questions of staff and so on and so forth. So you know, my question at the time was, can we do these? Every agency in Southern Nevada does them. A lot of agencies around the state do them. It's appropriate. There's nothing wrong with state law, with NRS, the open meeting law. And so, you know, yes, I've participated. It's been in the last probably 3 to 4 months that as I've gotten out and talked to people, this question keeps coming up. And people keep expressing to me the fact, their dissatisfaction with what goes on in these meetings. Have you been in meetings where there have been inappropriate questions or actual deliberation? And my response is no. That's generally, I'm in and out in about 10 minutes because I've been around so long, I understand what the RTC is, and I understand what the LVCVA is, and I understand those things. And so I've never seen them as being a big deal. But the public's perception, and this is the most important part of this, the perception the public has about those meetings, and it's been somewhat eye-opening for me these last 3 or 4 months. The public's perception is there are meetings going on behind closed doors where the public is not invited, questions being answered and so forth. And my response is, well, I can't speak to what goes on in any of the other meetings, but when I'm there, the city attorney's there, the city manager's there, the other department directors are there, and it's usually boom, boom, boom. Any questions about this? What's going? What does this mean? What is this? Where's this funding source coming from? Oh, okay, thanks. And then I'm generally out the door. So, am I opposed to them from that respect? I've not seen anything that leads me to believe that there's any violation. The problem is that the public's perception is that there might be, and so my response to that is, if we're going to do these, why wouldn't we just do them? Take the agenda that we already have, publish it, and let's do an open meeting where we can ask those questions in the public, and the public can see what those technical responses are. Every item is a discussion item. There are no action items. Every item is a discussion item, and we don't even need to review every single item. If there's no questions, if there's 12 items on the agenda, and there's only questions, technical questions, on 2 of those agenda items, there's no need to go through any of the other items and do any approvals or anything. It could be a 15, 20-minute meeting, which we're all attending anyway. We're all, technically, they're all making time. So I've told staff that in our current format, the public has a problem with them. We need to rethink. We need to relook at that. And in my opinion, and that I'm really not going to participate. If I have questions on an agenda, I'll just simply go in like I've always done, ask the questions that I have, get my standard answer or my answer that they've been telling everybody else in those technical reviews, and I'll go on my way. I don't need a formal meeting. So I'm in the minority there. So just so you know, I expressed that to staff, and evidently the rest of the other elected officials, or the majority of them, expressed that they want to continue doing them the way that they are. And so I guess I'm the only one that's not going to be attending. And if I'm elected mayor, yeah, my recommendation will be that we don't hold them anymore, or they're done as an open meeting where the public can come. And maybe after 6 months, the response from the public is, these are boring. You guys, there's really nothing going on here, and maybe it's not an issue anymore. But for now, if the public wants them if they want open public meetings, why wouldn't we comply? We don't have anything, as far as I know, we don't have anything to hide. So,
okay, all right. Thank you, Dave.